I have lived divine abundance. Ever since I received the Lord into my life, I was in prison when I started really walking with the Lord. And I was having divine abundance in prison. Okay, I mean, I was elevated to the highest place in prison by leading, a group of women, and I was the Bible teacher there in the prison. I was baptizing. I was one of the leaders of that whole large group. I was given divine abundance in prison because I worked in the warden's office. You don't work in the warden's office unless you have favor. Amen. And I was in the warden's office and in visiting. You don't work in visiting unless you have favor, because visiting is where they bring all the drug contraband in. So, they don't let anybody work in visiting. Amen. You have to have favor. You have to be trusted. You have to have integrity. So I was experiencing divine abundance from the beginning as soon as I came into the Lord. So I understand his goodness. Understand that even in your captivity, you can be blessed. Amen. I was seeing supernatural miracles in prison. My first one is I had a lump on my hand, and every night I would pray over it. It was a large lump. It was on this hand right here. And I would pray over it and just, decree that it was going to dissolve. And then one day I was at mail call waiting for mail, and I used to play with it. I would just to rub it like this, and I was waiting for mail, and I started doing this, waiting for the mail, and all of a sudden I realized it was gone. That was my first supernatural miracle in prison. Then I had many more after that. So I've seen miracles of all kind, divine abundance in my life in all aspects. When I got out of prison, and my husband and I were both ex-cons. My husband did 20 years in prison, 20 years. And we were blessed by God. I mean, within a year, my husband was given an idea from God to start a business, and within a year after that, it was making $1 million a year. We're ex-cons. My husband has a 9th grade education. $1 million a year. Oh my gosh. And then when the recession hit in 2008 and all the businesses crashed, his went with it. And we thought, well, what happened, God? You gave us the idea. How can your business crash? And so my husband sold off all his equipment, all his tools, and then we were broke. And like 6 months after that, all of a sudden he gets a call from a supplier, from a construction manager, and says, I want you to do a job. It's going to take you 8 weeks, and I'll give you $250,000 to do it. So out of all the businesses that they could have picked in the time of recession, when everybody stopped building but that one builder, everybody stopped building but him, he picks us. And we get a $250,000 blessing. And then 6 months after that, he gave him another job, $80,000. It was like, wow, we've never stopped living in divine abundance. Never stopped living in divine abundance. I mean, I could just stand up here and just tell you stories about the miracles. It's just been nonstop for us. I understand the goodness of God, and I want you to understand the goodness of God too.